Say you fine-tune an AI on a private document, and later you want to prove that document is truly gone, that the model no longer carries evidence it was ever trained on it. A popular new family of privacy tools promises exactly that by editing the model's internal features. This paper delivers an uncomfortable verdict. Those tools can hide the evidence in plain sight while leaving it fully recoverable in a place they never look. Start with the central question, called membership inference. Given a trained model, can you tell whether a particular document was in its training set? If yes, that's a privacy leak. The model is quietly carrying evidence of what it saw. Prior work showed this evidence is readable straight from the model's internal activations after fine-tuning. Now meet the tool everyone's excited about, sparse autoencoders, or SAEs. An SAE learns a dictionary of clean, human-readable features over a model's messy internal activations. It's become the go-to lens for interpreting and editing language models, one tidy feature at a time. And that editing power is now being sold as privacy and safety. A whole wave of methods ablate or steer SAE features to suppress unwanted behavior, to make a model forget private data, or stop leaking secrets. Here's the catch the paper zeroes in on. These tools can only touch what the dictionary actually represents, which raises the question at the heart of this paper. An SAE never reconstructs an activation perfectly. There's always a leftover, the reconstruction residual, the part the dictionary throws away. So, does the membership evidence live in the part the SAE keeps, or in the part it discards? The authors call that discarded part the dark subspace. The setup is clean. Take an activation from the fine-tuned model. Pass it through the SAE to get the reconstruction, the part the dictionary captures. Subtract that from the original, and you get the residual, the part it missed. Now train the exact same membership detector on three things: the original, the reconstruction, and the residual. Then just compare the scores. But they go deeper and find that two distinct signals live inside each activation. Knowledge direction, which separates members from non-members, the actual privacy signal, and a recall direction, which separates text the model reproduces well from text it doesn't. These are different things, and keeping them apart turns out to matter enormously. Here's the full pipeline, straight from the paper. Member and non-member texts go in, you pull activations from one layer, and a technique called contrastive principal component analysis carves out the two channels, knowledge and recall. Then 4 diagnostics interrogate them, including erasure tests and a check on whether the geometry holds across different model architectures. And the experimental hygiene here is careful, which matters because membership inference is notorious for false signals. They fine-tune models on a controlled slice of open web text, where members and non-members come from the very same corpus, just different documents. That kills the usual confounds, like topic or time period differences that can fake a membership signal. Now the headline result, and it's striking. This is the audit on a Pythia model. The detector reads the same documents 3 ways. Watch the score, where 1 means perfect detection and a half is pure chance. On the original activation, detection is strong, a score of 0.80. Run it through the SAE, and detection collapses to 0.59, almost a coin flip. If you stop there, you declare victory. The privacy tool worked. Then they look at the residual, the discarded leftover, and detection springs right back to 0.78. You can literally see it in the score distributions. On the original, members in blue and non-members in orange pull apart. The SAE reconstruction smushes them back together. They overlap, detection dies. And in the residual, they separate all over again. The evidence didn't vanish. It just moved into the dark subspace. The appendix walks one real document through this whole journey. Its activation scores cleanly as a member. The SAE reconstruction, which is faithful in aggregate, with a cosine of 0.98, still drops its membership score toward chance. Yet the residual recovers it. A faithful-looking reconstruction quietly threw away the one thing a privacy auditor cares about. Is this just a Pythia quirk? No. The same residual above reconstruction ordering shows up across 10 model SOE settings spanning 6 architecture families, every setting where the reconstruction is good enough to trust. Even gate the analysis behind a strict quality bar, so they only compare SOEs that actually reconstruct well. Here's the part that should worry the tool builders. The privacy methods don't edit the raw activation, they switch off individual SOE features. When the authors train a detector on the SOE's own feature codes, it barely beats chance. and the features that do correlate with the data. They turn out to control whether the model reproduces text, the recall channel, not whether it was a member. That leads to the paper's sharpest distinction. They erase the knowledge directions and watch two things. Verbatim extraction, the model parroting its training text, drops, which looks like forgetting. But membership detection survives on most architectures. So the model can stop reciting a document while still carrying the evidence it learned it. Forgetting how to recite is not the same as erasing the trace. And the evidence is slippery because it's spread out. In the appendix, they try nudging the model along a single knowledge direction to scrub it, and barely anything happens. Extraction stays near 70% on the bigger model. Only erasing a whole 5-dimensional subspace moves the needle. Membership trace isn't one neat dial. It's smeared across many directions. They also track when these two channels are born. The recall channel, how confidently the model handles text, is already present early in pre-training, before any fine-tuning. Membership channel, the actual privacy leak, only emerges after a few epochs of fine-tuning. Two signals, two different origins, which is exactly why editing one doesn't touch the other. Now, the authors are scrupulously honest about scope, and one appendix result is especially important. This dark subspace effect is tied to the common L1 style SOE. When they test a different recipe, a top K SOE, the ordering reverses, the membership signal stays inside the reconstruction. So the leak isn't universal across every dictionary. It depends on how the SOE was built. And they hammer the result with controls, because membership inference is famous for false alarms. Surface confounds, like vector length, text length, and raw word counts, don't explain it. Label shuffle permutation test doesn't reproduce it. Training the SOE on a totally disjoint corpus still gives the same ordering. The dark subspace survives the gauntlet. They're equally candid about the boundaries. The exact size of the effect depends on how the knowledge direction is fit, and it shrinks under a stricter held-out estimate. Under paraphrase with shuffled word order, the detector can even flip sign. Controlled Pythia experiments carry the real causal weight. The cross-architecture results are supporting evidence, not a universal law. So why does this matter? Because SOE feature editing is being proposed as a privacy guarantee, a way to certify that data is gone. This work shows a measured drop in detection can be an illusion. The evidence may simply have relocated to the residual the tool never inspects. Usefulness for interpretation and an actual privacy guarantee are two different properties. Their prescription is refreshingly concrete. Never trust an SOE feature edit as a privacy claim on its own. Pair it with a residual audit. Train a detector on the leftover residual and confirm the membership signal is actually gone from both the reconstruction and the residual. Check the dark subspace before you declare anything forgotten. So here's the one-line takeaway. When you edit a model's clean, readable features to erase private data, the evidence can slip into the messy leftover the dictionary ignores, the dark subspace. Deleting what you can see is not the same as deleting what's there. Always audit the residual. Thanks for watching.